President Donald Trump is threatening new actions against lawyers and law firms that bring immigration lawsuits and other cases against the government that he deems unethical. And a memorandum to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, Trump says lawyers were helping to fuel rampant fraud and meritless claims in the immigration system and directed the Justice Department to seek sanctions against attorneys for professional misconduct. Now, in response, the National Legal Director of the American Civil Liberties Union made a statement saying, quote, President Trump is attempting to silence those who embody the mission and ideals of the legal profession.
We are joined again by our Chief Legal Analyst, Khalif Rhodes. We got you all morning, man. All kind of topics to discuss today. So let's talk about this one here specifically. Where is, I guess, the legal issue? I mean, it's one thing if we have an opinion on what's going on, whether you think it's right or wrong. Where are the legal boundaries to what Trump's administration is doing?
I'm looking forward myself. I don't just play an attorney on TV. I actually am a practicing attorney. And let's go back further. I used to teach at the law school, Charlotte School of Law, that was here, ethics. So this is exactly my wheelhouse. I am confused on this memorandum. I've read a number of memorandums before, but when you're talking about the rules of ethics, let's start here. Attorneys are a self-governing body. So if Julian is an attorney and I'm an attorney and I see Julian doing something wrong, I have an ethical obligation to report them. So much so if I fail to report you, I can lose my license. That's how deep the law profession goes. Yeah, I know attorneys on TV are misportrayed. In movies, they're looked at as, ambulance chasers and scumbags. But make no mistake about it, our profession is probably one of the most scrutinized that's out there because everything you do is fine-tuned, microscopic examined. And so this right here, I don't understand what this is saying. Are you attempting to say that you want to charge or bring charges against attorneys for doing their jobs? I mean, every client has a right to have representation. If you're charged with a crime, you have a legal right to be represented. If you believe that you've been wronged in some type of civil matter, you have a right to be able to bring that claim against someone. Not a right to representation in that sense, but a right to bring your claim. And so I'm still trying to find out in what regard he would want these attorneys held responsible. Now, if they're doing something that is against the rules of ethics, against the rules of civil procedure, against any type of rule that I can see that they're alleging that was a legitimate violation, different. But that's not what I'm seeing here.
So he's tasked Attorney General Pam Bondi with being kind of, I guess, the person to look out for these type of things, bring lawyers that she believes are bringing meritless claims against the Trump administration to task. How would the process actually work, though, Khalif? Because you mentioned attorneys are supposed to self-govern. So how would that work in this memo that Trump is looking for?
I mean, I'm still scratching my head and trying to figure it out. I mean, the way our profession works is that any type of allegation or incident or allegation of misconduct will be reported to the state bar. Okay. And anybody right now can do that. So today, attorney or non-attorney could say, hey, I think that attorney's doing something that's unethical. I can make a report, and then what would happen is a grievance process would start against that attorney. And those are the worst things that have happened. As an attorney, that's like an audit from the IRS. You don't want that to happen because now that's saying, I'm going to challenge that this attorney is not doing their job right. You'll have to get representation. You as an attorney, you'll have to go before a board potentially to defend your actions that you've done. I mean, and they would list in there the allegations against you. They say, hey, one rule is communication with attorney. You failed to communicate with your client. Okay, you've failed to properly disclose and have a dialogue with your attorney. Maybe you've disclosed some things that you weren't supposed to disclose that were protected by attorney-client privilege. If you see those things listed on there, then you know, okay, I've done something that's against the rules of professional conduct. But we have these rules that are already in place. Similar to what we've talked about, how the Supreme Court should have those rules that are in place that every other judicial setting has. That's typically what every attorney in every state will be governed by. You would file a claim with the state board state board, and they would bring that against them.
Hopefully in the weeks to come there'll be a little more clarity. Because I mean, if you're struggling to understand it, no way am I even in the ballpark of being able to understand it as well. Khalif, thanks. Appreciate that.